to put a strip club in. No telling where that might be. So yesterday, discussion of money occurred. And by the way, I should say that's when I first heard that an offer would be made to the city for a donation of an amount which would be equal to the fine that had been levied by the city a few years ago. I didn't know that the previous mayor already had that in hand. It just dropped off the radar screen. So anyway, now we have it in front of us, and well, the money is part of this because I also told
Excuse me,
Mr. Brown.
excuse me, Councilman Coffin. I think this is the discussionable item. Correct me if I'm wrong, Council.
Well, what we're
but it's for
talking
the
about,
18th, the money.
I think I indicated, and it was allowed yesterday at recommending, and I think it's appropriate to a certain extent today, because there is this donation that triggered, I think, this entire discussion, the ordinance that's before you today. I think that you cannot vote on the money today, but I think that some discussion of it is appropriate. At some point in time, if it gets to a point where I think we have open meeting issues, I'll let you know, but until then.
My apologies. Continue, Councilman Coffin. Thank you.
thank you.
Brad.
The discussion ensued at the coffee table, and I thought, well, if I recall, this place, the Crazy Horse, had never been in it, but it looked great from the outside. The point was that it's been a black mark on our city for many years, having that place. In fact, having had the occurrence in 2001 about young Kirk Henry getting hurt there and manhandled and having his neck broken. And it's something the whole city looks upon as something that that the city does not want to have happen at any place of hospitality, whether it be a motel or a hotel, a strip club, a bar, a casino, anything. It just doesn't want this kind of publicity. And so the city council was right in the end, finally, to put a penalty on these folks, but it came years too late. The issue of violence at this club was well known to the community and the law enforcement community. I have copies of lists of hundreds of calls of service, for service to this address. And the pattern continued up to the day of Bobby the Peach breaking Kirk Henry's neck. But afterwards, and for many years, I mean, 3 or 4 years is a long time to be in operation and to continuing to get calls for service for a place that should have had its license jerked, should have been called up. A place that was employing felons, managed by felons, no work records on hand, nothing at all that a city inspection staff could take note of to determine if people were suitable. I mean, we had people licensed there making a fortune and never calling them up, and we can't even give an immediate license to Tony Shea to be a partner in the grill over here for fat people. So I think that the money became part of the discussion, and I thought, what has been done for this guy? All I read in the paper are these mob guys running away from the law, running away from the judges, the judgments, laughing, getting phony divorces, stuffing the money elsewhere. And this is not the current people, understand, but it's the circumstances that brought me to introduce this bill and said I would support it. And I realized nobody's done anything for Kirk Henry, that everybody's bending over backwards here to help get somebody into business at this notorious location, which has millions of dollars worth of goodwill, even if the federal government did run it into the ground. So that was the condition of my introduction, was that some sharing of money, of a donation, which was proposed to the city, occur. So that's how this bill came into being. I didn't really know all the detail about these thugs that were running this place, except that they seemed to have a lot of clout around here because they kept their license. They never did really lose it. And so just things kept going on. The good times were rolling. So anyway, I told Jay after the end of that meeting, I'll go ahead and I'll push your bill for you because I think it's a good bill. I think, by the way, and it's worthy. But I felt that that donation is being earmarked for the wrong person. The city has a budget. The city has money. It has tax money. It doesn't need to depend upon the kindness of strangers. On the other hand, I think this council has spent that money. I suspect once knowing about it, heck, we're human. You know, people have already figured out where I can get 50 or 100,000 for my award. So I thought, well, don't spend it all at once, guys, maybe half. So that was my thought. Anyway, But let's not forget Mr. Henry in this, Your Honor, because Mr. Henry is an integral part of this picture. And even though we're not voting on money today, I want you to consider the possibility that as you move this forward, that you think about him. You all have in front of you pictures, but I want to bring Son up here to put some pictures on the record for our audience here in the chambers, to show you pictures of Mr. Henry and what he looked like before he got roughed up by the personnel and the owners of this strip club. Put the big picture up there, Counselor.
Stan Huntington, I represent his wife, Amy. Repeat.
Is that the right way? David, could you assist? All right, that's your, now 11 years, more than 11 years ago,
Councilman?
or a victim in our...
I'm sorry, Councilman, I need to jump in now, because I know that we're getting to a point right now
Yeah,
where
I'm almost
we're
at the
getting...
point.
I'm sorry, we're
almost
getting
at
to
the
a point now where
conclusion.
we're talking about stuff that is going to be voted on the 18th. It's going to be exclusively the subject matter of the vote on the 18th.
Well, there won't be anything here that will be prejudicial to the vote today, though.
I don't think it'll be prejudicial, but I think what's happening now is we're moving to a portion where it's not just question and answer and sizing what fines could be assessed
Okay,
and what
I'll tell
couldn't.
you
We're
what,
moving to
we
a
will
point where
not
we're
show any
building
more pictures. Thank you.
a presentation.
There are further pictures to show Mr. Henry in the hospital. I just want to burn his face into your, my colleagues' minds here, because this is the real reason we're here today. It's because there's a donation being made. It's penance. It's an act of contrition. It's some sort, and it's not on behalf of Rick Rizzolo. Rick Rizzolo, that thug, is God knows where, out of prison, in and out of prison. Bobby the Peach, who broke the man's neck, is driving a taxi or a limo somewhere around town, probably with a work card, for all I know. Why, I don't know, but I think they have to have them. So anyway, it doesn't seem to be right that everybody in this city seems to make out except the victim of one of our licensed clubs. And so therefore, that is why I do not want any money to come to the city yet. I do not want any money to be tendered to the city in any fashion, whether it be kept in trust, because it could easily stay in a bank. We have the word of the applicants and their representatives that money will be paid, an offer will be tendered at that time, and so we can discuss the money on July 18th. I'm getting right back to the point there, Council, so that I want no money to be sent to the city. This is going to require a lot of work, by the way. A ton of code work is going to be required over the next intervening time if we approve this. And now I fully intend to vote for this ordinance change, but I want my colleagues to keep in mind for the next 4 weeks.
No.
And ask
I
you
want
not to
this
spend the
go
money
today.
before you get it.
This goes today.
Mrs. Mayor,
Thank you, Councilwoman.
I just wanted to say, and say it while Stan Hunterton is still here, that vote I have felt was the worst vote I ever made on the board. I was brand new, however, that was my excuse. I was given information that didn't turn out to be true, but that vote about the money and everything, I've carried with me with deep regret. And I know that we're not voting on that today, and when we get to the other part, then we can make a separate vote.
Thank you. Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. I understand you have the money today, even though we can't vote on the money today. Is that correct?
That's correct.
My motion would be, Your Honor, to,
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Yes, my motion would be to approve Bill number 2012-27 with the caveat that the deposit be made and that we have the discussion on accepting the money at a later city council meeting.
Can't hear. I'm sorry, Steve. Cannot hear you when you're looking away.
I'm moving to approve, as the recommending committee did yesterday, can everybody hear me out there? That we approve agenda item number 81, bill number 2012-27, with the caveat that the individuals before us turn the money over to our city attorney's office, and we will have a discussion on the money at a later city council meeting in regards to how that's going to be handled. That would be my motion, I believe. Mr. Jervik?
If I could...
Just so I don't get crossways.
Sure.
Two council people.
You bet.
Microphone on.
Done. Okay. When would you tell me, we're supposed to give it to the city attorney, just so there's no misunderstanding. I got the impression we were going to wait until the 18th. Is